What is going on, guys? Chris here. Welcome to the first Smite 2 video that I'm allowed to make. That's not true. I did some Smite 2 videos from Worlds. But this is the first video that we're going to be making. Smite 2 gets officially launched tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hi-Rez did a full breakdown of the Smite 2 alpha as it is so far. And with that came a entire PNG sheet of all of the items in the game. So I'm going to go through here as quickly as possible and cover all of the items in Smite 2. The link for this PNG image will be in the description, as well as Blue, who makes these. I'll give him a shout out and link down below as well. Smite 2 Alpha, this is what we will expect to see tomorrow, May 2nd, 2024. Major system overhauls, no relics. Relics and consumables will not carry over. Utility slots. All players start every game with beads and a ward. All players start every game with beads and a ward. So for controller, that's going to be A and X if you were on Savage, which you should be. Items with actives. They're no longer limited to just having passive effects. If you want to buy actives, you have to buy them in active items. So you have 6 item slots like normal. And if you want to buy an active item, you have to designate one of your slots that you buy to that. You can buy a lot of actives, but then you're going to sacrifice stats, you're going to sacrifice passives, so it gives a lot of optimization in your builds. Item store features. Build paths. This is going to be similar to like League of Legends, Dota, if you guys have used those stores before. I've already played it. I use a controller. The store is very seamless. It will take a while to get used to as you learn it, but other than that, it's going to go pretty quickly. The auto build function does work, so if you want to just hop into Smite 2 and you don't really want to learn builds yet, the auto builds are efficient enough to allow you to play the game. Strength and intelligence are now the main factors. More damage, more healing. You'll see in the ability descriptions what they scale off. It'll say like your healing will scale with intelligence. The damage of this will scale with strength. It'll tell you right in the ability descriptions. Lifesteal is now a universal stat. Starting items. Health potions, mana potions, up to 3 of each can be stacked. Purification beads, vision ward. Tier 1 items. This is what they are, and this is what they have. 450 gold, 350 gold, 700 gold, a variety of gold options, or a ruinous potion rate at the beginning. Enemies hit by basic attacks have 20% less healing. You can just add that to anything here. Okay, so all of the tier 1 items, they're going to give you a variety of stats, which you can look at right now. You can pause it if you want to see it. When you pull up the store, upgrade permanent items, you can upgrade this later in the game to permanently give yourself a sentry ward. And then when you drink these, you get permanent increase of 75 strength, as an example. And then it does not stack, so if you have the chance to buy both, you buy both. It's not where it's going to have a duration. It's going to run out in 3 minutes. Once you buy this, it is permanent. Tier 2 items, same thing. I'll let you look at these for a minute. It tells you what sequence of tier 1 items you need to buy in order to achieve this. Protections, intelligence, it'll show you what's on this. Some of them do have passive effects. Manchu bow, basic attacks deal 10 bonus physical damage to targets. Adamantine sickle, while below 50% HP, you gain 15 strength. Kopesh, I'm going to pronounce a lot of these wrong. Landing a crit on an enemy god gives 5% movement speed for 4 seconds. Castus, being hit by hard CC, gives a buff of 15 of each protection for 4 seconds. Zyther, just some stats. Oracle Staff kills and assists on enemy gods. Instantly restore 25% of your mana. Interesting. Ring of Dispel. Enemies hit by hard CC lose 10 strength and 16 intelligence. Charm. Yep. Gives allies a 100 HP shield for 6 seconds. It's an active effect. Okay. Another active here. Enemy gods within 6.4 meters lose 10 of each protection for 6 seconds. Cooldown to 60 seconds. And then Odigba, 180 max mana, or 180 max health, 125 max mana, kill or assist on enemy gods restores 5% max HP. So you see there's active items, right? So it's only gonna give you 200 health, and then like, you know, like something, only 200 health and then a shield. And then you compare that, right? But it's kind of cheap. You compare that to other items, and you're gonna be sacrificing stats if you get actives. But you could I've seen a lot of like self peel on actives. So now here's the tier 3 items. The following are all unique tier 3 items that provide large amounts of strength. This is strength items. This is not a non-exhaustive list of strength items, as many attack speed and crit items are statted with strength. There is currently no stat cap on strength. Okay? Avatar's Parashu. 55 strength, 2,900 gold. Active effect, gain 20% increased strength for 10 seconds. 20% increased strength. Obsidian Shredder. 45 strength. Passive effect, abilities reduce physical protections by 1 per level for 4 seconds. Whatever that is. 50 strength, 10 cooldown. Using abilities gives you a buff of 3% movement speed and 5 CDR, second up to 3 times, so 9% movement speed and 15 CDR. Jotun's Revenge, kills or assists on enemy gods, reduce cooldowns by 2 seconds, and ultimate by 6 seconds. Hydra's Lament, very similar to Smite 1, 45 strength, 225 max mana, 4 mana regen. Using an ability, buffs your next basic attack to deal 30% increased damage. Pretty much the same thing. The Dagda's Great Club, 20 strength, 175 health, 20 cooldown rate. Abilities deal bonus physical damage, scaling with 30% of your prots. Interesting. A good warrior item, then. So these are all the strength tier 3 items. A lot more expensive, but if you look at the stats on it, 45, 45, 20, 20 cooldown rate. Big stats. Penetration tier 3 items. The following are all unique tier 3 items. These items work for either your physical or magical damage against an enemy's physical or magical protection. Each type of penetration stat is a percent based on and caps at 100%. Serpent Spear, 15 strength, 175 max mana, 30% pen. Just straight stats. You'll notice it's just straight stats, no passive. And what you'll notice when I'm reading through a lot of these items is you are not going to be able to just be bloated with stats. If you want active items, you're going to sacrifice stats. If you want stat items, you're going to sacrifice either passives or actives, right? You want a good item like this, 15 strength, 30% pen. That's all you get, right? You look at those other items up above, we're talking 45, 50 strength, 55 strength, 45 strength. You start talking about pen, you're only getting 15. So you're going to sacrifice something. You can grab some pen because you're going to need it if you want to shred tanks, but you're going to lose the ability to burst a little bit because you're going to have much lower power. So you're going to have to find a mix of stat efficient items mixed with maybe an active item and then some, some pen. So you're going to, the build optimization and customization is not going to be as much streamlined into, I'm playing a mage this game, I'm going to build this exact build. A lot of it is going to be very dependent on who you're playing against, who's on your team. You might need a little bit more self-peel, right? You might need a blink if you're a certain mage. So I like the item system a lot because it's going to make it so it's not streamlined to just, oh, here's the meta build. This is what you build in mid on almost every character, right? Because that's what Smite 1 is. And I think this is going to create a lot better of variety for you to build. And variety is good. It keeps the game fresh. Executioner, 10 strength, 12 attack speed, hitting gods or bosses with basics for a buff of 10% physical penetration for 4 stacks up to 5, 50% pen. But look, 10 strength. 50% pen, 10 strength for 2,700 gold. Baylor's Eye, 20 intelligence, so similar but different, and then same thing, similar but different. But look at the power, right? Power, well, intelligence, sorry, not power. Intelligence, same thing, same items. Tier 3 intelligence item, Eldritch Orb. Just straight power. I keep saying power. Just straight intelligence. Just straight stats, 145. So this is going to be something that like you want in your build, because if I'm gonna need this to compensate for this. I'm only getting 20 intelligence. I can get 145 power. So like if I'm buying this, I'm gonna need something like this in my build, right? World Stone, 95 intelligence, ultimate cooldown, specifically only the ultimate cooldown. That's pretty wild. Interesting. Interesting, I like that. It doesn't give you cooldown overall, just on the ult. Interesting. 90 intelligence, Dreamer's Idol, gain 20% increase in intelligence. So imagine you grab this, right? And you're just going for a high stat efficient gameplay. You're not going any actives, you're not going, and imagine you're just trying to stack intelligence here, right? Interesting. Wish granting pearl, 55 intelligence, 350, yeah, just another stat item. Gem of Iso, ability slow gods by 15% for 2 seconds, 40 intelligence, health and mana. Triton's Conch, 55 intelligence, 300 max mana, or 300 max health, 170 mana. You and allies within gain 7 strength and 10 intelligence per level. Oh, +1 per level, Jesus. Interesting. Okay, so an aura item. Polynomicon, same thing as usual. 75 intelligence, still pretty good. Using the ability buffs your next base attack to do 30% of your intelligence. Right? You start stacking like a stat-based item and add that in there. See how hard Poly's hitting for? Add in a Hydras too? Sheesh. 85 intelligence. But you have to remember, auto attacks are usually... Auto attacks, not usually. Auto attacks scale for 100% of your strength and like 20% of your intelligence. You got to remember that as well. Jade Scepter. 85 intelligence. Enemy gods in front of you are displaced. Okay, so this is an active item. Displaced away from you. So this is a knockback active intelligence-based item. Right? You're playing Zeus, you're playing Anubis, you're playing something like that. And you're going to grab an item that gives you a decent amount of mana, a decent amount of intelligence, and something that can knock somebody just outright away from you, right? So that's what I'm talking about. You might sacrifice some stats for just some extra self-peel. So you'll have like the beads that you inherently have in your kit overall, and then grab something like this as an example. Cosmic Horror, while above 225 intelligence, gain 15% cooldown rate. 125 intelligence on it. Interesting. Okay. Soul Devourer. Abilities on enemy gods deal bonus magical damage equal to 15% of their current HP. Interesting, okay. Chronos Pendant. Every 10 seconds, ability cooldowns are reduced by 1 second. 25 cooldown rate, 45 intelligence. So, a lot lower stats, but cooldown. Gem of Focus. Using abilities gains above 15 intelligence. 3. Okay, so pretty much like Gem of Focus. Necronomicon. Cooldown rate. Kills and assists give you 50 intelligence, but reduces prots by 20. Stack up to 3 times. So you can reduce your prots by 60, but kills will give you 150 intelligence. So this could have 195 intelligence, 20 cooldown rate, but sacrifice basically make you glass cannon. Scepter of Dominion, 50 intelligence, 10 cooldown rate after 2 seconds. Active effect, so this is another active. An area is created where gods inside are put in stasis for 2 seconds. Stasis is nobody can move, nobody can do anything. After 2 seconds as well. Attack speed, tier 3 items. Atalanta's Bow, 30 strength, 30 attack speed. Hit gods with basics for a buff of 5% reduced movement penalty for 4 seconds. Okay, so it's pretty much like Atalanta's Bow from Smite 1. 30 strength, Dagger of Frenzy. Gains 60 bonus attack damage and 30% attack speed. That's huge. Just 60 bonus basic attack damage. That's huge. Kins. Sunbeam Bow. Just stat item. Hand of the Abyss. Hit gods or bosses with basics. Buff 15 bonus basic attack damage for 6 seconds. Stacks up to 3 times. Harp. It has strength and intelligence on it. And 20 attack speed. Basic attacks deal 5 bonus magical damage. When usually it's physical. 20 strength. Meteor Hammer. Enemies in 2.5 bonus physical scheme take bonus physical damage. Okay, so that's pretty much Golden Blade. Tier 3 lifesteal items. There are only 3 lifesteal items in the game at all. Only 3. As mentioned, lifesteal is universal and works off both basic attacks and ability damage. Only 33% effective against minions. Lifesteal has a stat cap of 100. Bloodforged Blade. Gain an active HP shield equal to 10% of your max HP. 40 strength. So there is only 1 intelligence. So if you're playing like Anubis, there is only 1 intelligence-based lifesteal item. While below 30% HP, gain a 10% shield. 50% intelligence for 6 seconds. Internal cooldown of 90 seconds. The Reaper. Hitting an enemy god below 50% gives 15% lifesteal for 4 seconds. So there is only one intelligence lifesteal item. Crit chance tier 3 items. Painful Rapier. 20% crit chance. Landing a crit on you and an enemy god gives you 15% attack speed. Dual swords. 20 strength. 20% crit chance. Landing a crit on an enemy god gives you 10% movement speed. So when you think strength, you're like, well then, this won't be good on me. But you gotta remember, there is no classes. They announced that today. There is no mage class. There is no guardian class. You can't think about that anymore. Basic attacks are always based on strength. So if you want to run crit Emir, you buying strength will make your basic attacks do more. Basic attacks always scale 100% with strength, and then like 20% with intelligence. I might be wrong on that. I know it's 100 for strength. So it always scales 100% with strength, though. Crit damage increased by 25 for Deathbringer. Death Metal. Double stats. Strength and intelligence. Crit chance. You and your allies gain strength, intelligence, and 20% attack speed for 6 seconds. So an active item. Physical protection tier 3 items. Enemies within you lose 20% attack speed and 20% crit chance. So that's interesting. Just a less crit chance. Okay. So it's not like you just make everyone take less damage. It's just they have less crit chance, which is interesting. Enemies that hit you with basic attacks lose 5% strength for 4 seconds, stack up to 3 times. So 15% strength loss. Interesting. Helm of Radiance. Passive effect. Gain a 10 physical prot for 6 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So, okay. That could be a lot. And it's 60 intelligence on it. So that could be a mid lane item. Stampede. You and allies gain 25% movement speed for 4 seconds, like sprint. Another active item. Creates a mushroom that heals allies, pretty much like med. Pretty much. Curse. What an unfortunate time for my headset to die. But don't worry. It's plugged in. Pharaoh's Curse, active item. Enemies within you are slowed and have... Okay, so pretty much like a curse. Magical protection items. Shoguns. Increase 20% attack speed. Mirror. Gain a buff of 15 strength and 20 intelligence with level scaling for 6 seconds after taking magical damage. Passive. Helm of Darkness active. Become stealth for 6 seconds. 50 intelligence. You know what I'm saying. Interesting. Beads, pretty much. Beads. If you guys need to pause any of this, obviously you can to read them. Phoenix Feather. Active, you are healed for 300 HP and 30% of your missing HP. Interesting. 300 base and 30% of missing. That could be huge. We'll have to see. We'll be messing around with this starting tomorrow. Active effect. Enemy gods in front of you are silenced for 2 seconds. That could be huge as well. Hybrid protection items. Enemy hit by hard CC. Lose 15 of each prot. Wings. You are cleansed of all slows and gain slow immunity for 10 seconds. Okay. Stat item. Eye of the Storm. Assist on lane minions. Gives 1 stack, 1 protection each time. Almost like Gauntlet of Thebes. Yogi's Necklace. Just stat item. Eye of Providence. A lot of stat item. Active effect. Place a ward that reveals enemies and wards within 8.8 meters. Lasts for 60 seconds. Okay. Anti-heal items. Brawlers. Divine. Ruinous Ankh. Passive. Enemies have 40% reduced healing, 40% reduced healing, and 40% reduced healing. Tier 3 utility items. Phantom Ring. You and allies 6.4 are able to walk through player-made walls, so Phantom. You and allies gain a 100 HP shield, so pretty much Shell, and Blinking Amulet. Pretty much Blink. So that's it. Those are the items. That was a lot to cover in this. I mean, I say it was a lot to cover, but it's been 20 minutes. Okay, so we just covered all the items here. Again, if you guys are looking for that PNG list, it's going to be in the description below the stream. A lot of cool things to mess around with. As you can see, there's either very stat-intensive items, or there's a bunch of actives you could mess around with, right? You can make yourself invisible as a mid laner. You can blink as a mid laner, but then you're going to sacrifice some intelligence, so you're not going to be able to do as much damage. But, you know, you might be running an Anubis, right? To where you want a blink and also invisibility. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of options. A lot of cool actives, a lot of cool items. I really like the new items that they made. I like that you have to sacrifice something to get something. If I want pen, I'm sacrificing power. If I want a lot of power, I'm sacrificing a passive that I might need. If I'm grabbing passives, I might be sacrificing a little bit of stats, and I might not have enough room for actives. If I want an active or two, I'm sacrificing all the other things I just mentioned, right? So there's a give and take. There's you want this because it's efficient, but you're going to not be doing as much damage. You go just for a full stat build, you're going to be pumping out damage, but you might not have the survivability or utility to keep yourself alive enough to get off the damage, and that's going to provide a constant flow of an evolving meta, which is always very good. It's going to be very situational based. It's going to be very who I'm playing against based, and things are going to change very often. And I think it's going to be very fun. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns about any of these items, let me know. If you guys want to see any of these items in upcoming videos, starting from this video, I think you will come to expect only Smite 2 content from the channel. We will be able to play it all weekend. I'm going to be recording tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on May 2nd, which will probably be today when you guys are watching this video throughout the day. I will be recording tonight, May 2nd, at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be pumping out a bunch of shorts. I'll be going over controller overlays. I will be going over controller settings. I will be going over god changes. And then starting Friday morning into Saturday morning, we will be doing multiple 12-hour streams, and I will just be pumping out, here's a Conquest game, you know, Anubis mid, here's a Bacchus jungle, here's an Emir solo, right? I'm just going to be pumping out content. I'm going to record as many games as possible, and it's just going to be daily Smite 2 content that can hopefully hold us over until the next alpha weekend, in which case we'll take suggestions, we'll pump out more content. I wouldn't expect too much more Smite 1 content. The daily streams that are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., you can expect to see whatever's available. If Smite 2 is available, there is no Smite 1. That's a fact for the channel, and that's a fact for the content. This game looks great. If you guys are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. If you guys haven't followed me on Twitch, Twitter, all the above, it's Twitch, Twitter, youtube.com/ChrisTDickson. It's the same on everything. We are live 6 days a week, 8 hours a day. We stream this game full-time for a living, and making content is what I do. So I will see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys in Smite 2, and I'll see you guys live on the stream tomorrow. Goodbye.